When you have a lot of information or a very complex subject matter, visualizations can make a huge difference. For example, at our school, we've introduced some key people that we want to connect to our computing curriculum. And so what we want to do is we want to share as much information about these key figures and why they are so significant within computing. However, because there are about 11 different people, this does mean there's a lot of information. Now, I've created a quick document with all the information about these people, but a visual would be great. For example, a mind map. Here you can see a mind map with all those key people highlighted and each of their individual achievements and why they are so significant within computing. Maybe instead of a mind map, you'd like to see a table that outlines all their achievements at 3 different reading levels. Here we have a first, second, and third reading level. Or maybe you'd like a timeline that shows you exactly when this person was around and how things have changed over time. Well, now you can use AI, and you can feed it information. Once you've fed it that information, it's going to generate these visuals for you, and then you can even tweak the visuals afterwards. Now, all of these visuals were created within MyLens. Now, I also want to say a quick thank you to MyLens for sponsoring this video and giving us access to the full suite of features. Later in the video, I'll show you what you can do with the free version and what you can do with the pro version of this program. So let's go ahead and get started. Now here I am on the MyLens interface, and the first thing you'll notice is on the left-hand side, you have your settings and members area. We'll look at that later. The different pricing models or the plan. The one you're seeing here is the Pro plan. Thank you to MyLens. And we have some folders. I've created 2 folders, some older demos and the YouTube demo. That's the one I will use today. If you wanted to create another folder, you can simply here at the top click on this add folder icon and create another folder. You can see here we have a new folder. I'm going to title this second YouTube folder. Now I want to create a visual. So let's go into our YouTube demo folder, and you can see there are no storyboards. Now, the way that MyLens works is there are 2 different terms used. So within a folder, you create storyboards. Now, a storyboard contains multiple stories, and each story is an individual visual. This is AI generated, so it is possible that you have to go back in and tell it to make some tweaks to that visual. So let's go ahead and do that here. In YouTube demo, I'm going to click on the plus icon. So let's go ahead and create a new storyboard. I'm going to click on the plus icon here. And now on the right-hand side, I'm going to add my inputs. What is the information that will go into this storyboard? Now, as an example, I want to show you a quick document here that I've made. So here I've got a document. This is written in Google Docs with all the historical figures that we are going to be using at our school for our computing curriculum. So here we have Hedy Lamarr, John von Neumann. You can see we have Steve Jobs, Susan Wojcicki, Sir Berners-Lee, and many more. I've put these all into a single document, and so what I want to do is I want to feed this into MyLens. Let's go ahead and export this as a PDF. I'm going to click on File, Download, PDF. I now have that PDF file, so let's go back to MyLens, and let's simply add an input. We're going to add a PDF file. Click on PDF. Okay, here we have the relevant PDF file. I'm going to open that here, and you can see at the bottom it is being uploaded to mylens.ai. This is good enough. I can get started. I don't have to prompt it, but I can add a little bit more information in my prompt. So I'm going to say, I'm looking for a timeline on these significant historical figures. You can add multiple inputs, or you can go here to the left-hand side and select a specific visual, timeline, mind map, quadrant, or a table. Usually, MyLens AI is really good at picking the one that you want or the one that will be best for the information you fed it, but you can specify which one you'd like. So let's go ahead and click on Next. It is now processing that input, and you will see in real time it's going to generate that timeline. Here we go, the timeline is being generated. Let's have a look at this timeline. So I'm going to scroll all the way to the left, and let's have a look. We've got Hedy Lamarr here in the 1940s, but what you will notice is it goes from the 1940s to 45, 76, 2006, and then back to 89. Why is this? Why is this timeline in the wrong order? Well, that is because my original document is in that order. It's followed the order of the key people in my document. So what I can do now is I can tweak this. I can add a second story to this storyboard. So here you can see we have one story. Let's add a second story, which is going to be the same timeline, but this time in chronological order. So I'm going to prompt it. Please create this in chronological order. And we're going to say create. Now you can see here on the left-hand side, it goes from one story to two stories within this storyboard. And this time it is in chronological order. So you can see here, we now have 2009, 6, 89, 76, 50. I can go back to the original one. This is the order that I fed it, so the order of my original document. Or I can go to the follow-up information here, which is where I've tweaked it. I've tweaked the AI response by adding an additional prompt to MyLens AI. So that means that you can now keep going and you can keep refining that timeline. So there we go. This is a really useful tool to have. In the top right corner, I can now share this. So let's go ahead and click on share. And then I can do a few things. I can either let anyone with a link access this. So I've now turned this on. I'm going to copy that link, and you will see when I open an incognito window, I can pop that link in there and anyone can access this timeline online. And you can easily share this with students, parents, and colleagues to share the information that you've just generated. They do get access to both stories within this storyboard. So if you do not want that, make sure you go back to that first one, click on the three dots and delete the first story. If you do that, they will only see the one that's left in your storyboard. Otherwise, they will see all different stories. Now, another thing you can do is you can export this as a file. So let's go back to the share menu in the top right corner. And here we can now download this. We can download the regular PNG file or a transparent file. Great for visuals in videos or other work that you're creating. Maybe you're creating a poster, or maybe this is a visual that you need for your school. I'm going to download the PNG file, and I'm going to use the large size. Now, this is a pro feature. If you are on the free plan, you can still export the image. However, it will have a small watermark at the bottom that says it was made by MyLens AI, as well as be of a lower resolution. So I'm going to click on download. There we go. I now have this visual. I can open that visual and there it is. All those key figures in computing on a timeline in chronological order. Let's go back to MyLens AI and let's now create that mind map. So we're going to now add another visual, a mind map of each person with their key accomplishments. There we go. We're going to let MyLens AI choose the visual it will create. It's processing that input, extracting the insights, and there we go. It is generating that mind map. And you can see it's neatly going through all the people in that source document. Here we are. We now have Lamar, for example, here. Lamar talks about frequency hopping, excellent contributions, leads to Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and all the other information we have. When we go to Lovelace, we see the first computer algorithm. She was a visionary in computing. So we have all the information that we need. Again, we have this image now. We have this visual. We can click on share, export this as a PNG file, click on download, and there we go. We have our visual that can go into our learning materials. We can share this with students. We can pop it onto our classroom wall, and we have a beautiful visual that explains a more complex concept and generated this output or this visual. Now, let's say you don't have any source documentation. Can you still use MyLens AI? Well, yes, absolutely you can. So let's create a new storyboard. I'm going to create a brand new storyboard. And I'm going to say, well, tell me about instructional coaching for teachers. So tell me about instructional coaching for teachers in the context of professional development. And we're going to let MyLens AI choose the visual. It is going online, it's finding those resources, and there we go, instructional coaching. It's created that mind map. It's created it from scratch without a reference document, without an input. So instructional coaching, definition, methods, challenges, implementation, benefits, and goals. Excellent. It's still generating some additional information here. So you can see it talks about how professional development plans should be tailored to individual needs and ongoing assessment. Everything you need is right there within MyLens AI. Another thing that it can do is it can take those links that you have. So for example, let's create a new storyboard, and this time as an input, we are going to provide it with a link. The link we are giving it is the link to this article by the Bell Foundation on effective teaching strategies for EAL learners. It's a very long article. I love reading, but maybe you want to visualize this just as a reminder on your office wall or classroom wall. Well, Myland is going to make that easy. So I've just fed that article in here, and we are going to let it generate any visual it wants to create. It's probably going to create that mind map. So here we go. It's extracting insights from the article online. It's creating that visualization. And here we go. EAL teaching strategies, multilingualism. We've got content and language, social inclusion, pupil assessment. Great. This is amazing. I would like to see some of these strategies now in table format. So go ahead and create a guide for teachers in table format. And just to make sure it is correct, we are going to select table. Let's have it generate that table. So let's see what it comes up with. It's using the information in the article. Again, this is fairly new. It's in beta still. We've added in a link. There we go. It's creating 3 columns, principle, description, and the strategies. And all the information is right there. Now you can see here at the bottom, it even gives you a couple of suggestions of follow-up stories that you can generate. So let's just go ahead with one of these suggestions. Let's compare effectiveness of different strategies. Now it's going to come up with that quadrant visualization and compare the effectiveness of these strategies. And here we are. You can see it's creating an interactive visualization of the effectiveness, where the vertical line stands for the support given and the horizontal one for the effectiveness. So you can see here, monolingualism, low support, low effectiveness, but then as we go up here, integrated focus, high effectiveness, high support, all neatly mapped out onto this quadrant. If you want people to have access to this interactively, well then you will have to share the link by clicking on share, making it available, and copying that link. Now let's say you want to edit this a little bit to be more on brand. Let's say your school colors are blue and yellow. Well, here at the bottom we have an edit button, and then you can change the visualization's color. There we go. Let's go with this. Let's go with the orange, and let's save those changes. Now our visual has different colors. And that is MyLens AI. Now, links will be in the description below. Now, a quick thank you to MyLens AI for giving me access to the Pro version. Now, looking at the various different plans available, here you can see that with a free plan, you can get started. You have 3 stories per day and 3 stories per storyboard. That does mean that if you remove a story from your storyboard, you can add in another one. So let's say that you've hit your 3-story limit, simply remove an old one and add in a new story. You have a single page PDF processing. That's quite limited, but as I've shown you, you've got that link processing and you can input the information as text. If you go to the Pro plan, you are looking at $12 a month at the moment. This is with 4 free months. This gives you 500 stories a month and a lot more processing power. And then you also have the team plan right here. This is currently set at $24 a month, where you can work collaboratively with your team. So go ahead, check it out, try out the free version, upgrade to Pro if you like it, or if you'd like to use it more extensively. And if you see value in it, then the team plan may be the right one for you. Now, I want to say a quick thank you to Myland for giving me access to the Pro version so I can show everyone what Myland does, how it works, and also how you might use it in class. Now, I also want to thank all our channel members and Patreon supporters. You get access to this video early. I also want to thank Patreon because that's where you can watch these videos ad-free, as well as get access to all the files I create and use during my videos. If that's something that you are interested in, if you'd like to get access to the files, get access to the documentation, then you will have to find that Patreon link down below. Join us there and you'll have access to everything you see in my videos. In the meantime, thank you for watching and I will see you in the next one.